Buff Nation.
Let's go.
Welcome into DNVR Buffs Prime Time. We're presented by Illegal Pete's, everyone's go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beers. Happy Wednesday, dude.
Happy Wednesday, Jake. Just give me some nucks.
Let's go.
Wasn't our fault this time, baby.
It
wasn't our fault that we were late.
Nope, don't blame us.
On Alyssa today.
I'd just like to say I've been sitting in this studio for about 20 minutes now.
You are the type of guy who would sit in the studio and not tell anyone.
I came upstairs and I was like, where's Jake? We have a show.
I know. I heard you. I was like, I'm sitting right where I'm supposed to be.
It was my fault. It was my fault today.
I was sitting in Studio A, chilling.
Sorry, I checked my Slack.
Was it in Slack?
Yes.
I also was sitting in Studio A waiting.
I was just chilling. It was nice.
Check our channel.
I was the one that wrote it in there.
Yeah, I know.
Ugh, today's been a day. It's fine. We're
all
here.
right.
We here.
We also said Neely would be here yesterday. He is not, as you can probably see. He will be here tomorrow.
He will be here tomorrow. We'll catch up. Tons to catch up with him.
Yeah,
so make sure you guys tune in. But today we're going to recap the portal, recap recruiting, talk about what everyone else is talking about on social. Alabama's best players are flocking to the transfer portal.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, it's a problem.
Of course.
We'll talk about that later.
Let's get down to it, though. These are the two top players in the transfer portal now. Yep. Both 5-star players, both .99 grades.
5-star transfers?
5-star transfers.
The rare 5-star transfer.
Yep. I don't think it was Walter Nolan was one, right?
One last year, Travis Hunter. One this year, before this,
yep.
Walter Nolan.
Well, I guess Isaiah Bond was one, too.
Oh.
It says Evan Stewart was one as well.
Okay, so, okay. Right.
Anyways, those are later ones.
They're just throwing them out for anyone now, I guess.
That's true. Isaiah Bond was quick. It was like 2 days he was in the portal. And
Where is he?
To Texas. He's going to play with Sark.
Nice.
So anyways, Caleb Downs and Caden Proctor have entered the portal. Caden Proctor we talked about last year. The Buffs kind of came on late when Coach Prime was hired. He's already got a crystal ball to Iowa, where he's from. But Caleb Downs was one of the most impactful players in all of college football this last year. True freshman coming in at safety, was a 5-star recruit, 6 foot 203 out of Houston, Georgia. He was the first Alabama Crimson Tide player or true freshman to get over 100 tackles in like 50 plus years.
Wow.
Was second team All-American, like all these accolades. He's just going to be a stud.
Yeah, I mean, he's a beast. I will say there's a lot of speculation that he is going to Georgia. Mm-hmm. But no crystal ball yet, which is surprising considering Caden Proctor got a crystal ball within minutes of him entering the portal. So you've got Alabama fans like pointing out all these conspiracies, finding after the SEC championship game, Kirby Smart like went over and dapped up Caleb Downs, and people are like, why did he only do it to Caleb Downs? Blah, blah, blah. Of course, everyone tampers. We've already established that here on this show. But obviously, you take a look at, you make a call at the very least on either of these guys.
You have to. He's already played at an All-American level. Was a 5-star recruit, and he's just proven that he can come in and play right away.
Yep. And the funny thing is, like, you get a guy like Caleb Downs, and people will be like, oh, well, only in the transfer portal. It's like, no, this is better than getting the highest-rated recruit in the country because you're getting a player who already proved they can do it at the level that they were considered to be.
Exactly.
Again, both of these are pipe dreams, but until the fat lady sings, as they say.
Right. Another Alabama player has entered the portal. That is Amari Niblack. I don't
know. I'm going to go with Niblock.
Okay. This kid was a 2022 recruit. He was a 4-star player out of Clearwater, Florida. So a Florida kid.
Yep.
He's now the number 1 tight end in the transfer portal, 26th overall player. Played last year for the Crimson Tide in 14 games with 4 starts. Played in 10 games last year in 2022. This season for the Tide, 20 receptions, 327 yards, and 4 touchdowns. 6'4", 233.
All right. Yeah. I mean, you take the depth at tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Even though everyone is already operating as though Savell Smalls has made that move. I'll wait till we have that confirmed.
Well,
do we have it confirmed?
Corey Phillips liked the tweet yesterday.
That's not a confirmation.
He couldn't like it if he didn't want to, but he did.
What if he just liked that people were that interested in the team that they were looking and taking a role on the players and where they're sitting?
I mean, that's true. It is a fascinating thing to dig into. So those are the 3 big Bama players in the portal. But there are 2 other LSU players, big-time players. One we talked about last year and one we haven't talked about in a while.
Uh-huh.
And that is 2023 5-star Lance Hurd. Was the 3rd overall offensive tackle in the class. He is rated as a 4-star transfer right now, but 6'6", 340.
I have heard that we have a chance here.
Okay.
A legitimate chance. Now, this is where the intricacies of college football in 2024 get so interesting. Of course, Tennessee was in the mix for Jordan Seaton.
Right.
And they were like, they got all of his little buddies and they were having them anti-recruit Colorado and they were doing everything they could to get Jordan Seaton. And they thought they had Jordan Seaton. Well, they didn't get Jordan Seaton. Now, what happens in that case is, think of it like a free agency in football. You've got $50 million in cap space. You think you're going to sign a quarterback or let's just keep it easy, an offensive tackle to a $15 million a year deal.
Okay.
They go somewhere else. Well, guess what? All of a sudden you have a lot more money. That's what's going on here with Tennessee. They're using their savings from not getting Jordan Seaton to try and back it up for Lance Hurd. And obviously, it's a position of need for them that they believed. And, you miss out on a 5-star this year, you go hard after a 5-star last year. But Colorado is very much in the mix. Very much in the mix.
Let's go. Lance Hurd, I don't think he played too much last year for the Tigers, but he is highly touted. He would be a massive addition. It would give the Buffs 2 5-star bookends on the offensive line. 2, massive players too. Jordan Seaton's a big kid, but Lance Hurd, 6'6", 340 is different than whatever Jordan Seaton is. Jordan Seaton's got the length, he's got the wingspan, but Lance Hurd is he's got everything else.
For what it's worth, I'm not getting any of my information from people on Twitter. It's like we actually got a DM.
Oh my God.
We got a DM last night from someone being like, I can confirm that Savell Smalls is moving to tight end. And I was like, whoever that person is, there's a very good chance that they know someone, they have a family member that they know. But I'm like, I don't know who you are.
Right.
like Buffs to the ship 2023 or whatever it is. You confirming it, that can't do anything for me. That can't help me. I wish it could, but that doesn't help me.
Yes.
And that is with all due respect to whoever that person is that DM does.
No,
I hope you understand.
I get stuff sent to me all the time. It's like, this player's here. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
We'll see then. The other LSU player, we talked about him last year. And it's kind of getting late early for Denver Harris here because he's into the portal again. This will be his 3rd team in 3 years.
Sheesh.
Was a former 4-star player, was one of the best cornerbacks in the 2023 class, but now looking for his 3rd team. Only played in, I think, 5 games last year. Started 3 of them, but had 7 tackles and 2 passes defensed.
If it wasn't for all the other stuff, I would still be very interested in Denver Harris, but there's been a lot of off the field nonsense that is why he's still available and probably why he's available for a second time now in the portal.
Yep.
He's gonna get an opportunity somewhere. Hopefully, he's able to get it all on track and get going, but whatever it was, Instagram Live going 100 miles per hour in a parking lot is just that's not a reason to not take someone, but when it combines with other things, it's clearly maturity issues here.
Yep.
And I hope that he gets on the right track, but seems like there's going to be a bit of a drop off in where he ends up this time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you get 3 bites at the SEC apple in the
No.
transfer portal.
I don't think so either.
Unless, I guess, Vandy comes calling.
I don't think Vandy's coming.
And then 3 guys not on SEC rosters that I thought would be great additions to this team. Ben Urosic. What?
Nothing. I got to stop caring about these stupid comments. Not everyone, just one.
Ben Urosic, former Stanford tight end. He's entered the portal. I believe.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's played a long time. I think he's got to be a grad. He's been playing since 2020. This kid, I mean, all Pac-12 second team in 22, all Pac-12 first team in 21. I mean, obviously a Stanford kid, super smart, made the Mackey Award watch list. Would probably be going to the Senior Bowl right now if he declared instead of entering the portal. But he's just another one of those Stanford tight ends who can kind of do it all. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a really good pro, honestly. Last year, Stanford a little down, only played in 6 games, so I guess he might have been hurt. 16 receptions, 239 yards, and 1 touchdown. But a great player.
Yeah. I mean, another one that's just like, man, it'd be really nice to have. If you were able to get one more well-rounded tight end, you would feel amazing about your offense. You already feel incredible about it, to be honest. But you're feeling really good about it, imagining a 12 personnel,
Right.
Which is, of course, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 back. Like that, when you're imagining that in your head, when you're thinking about Colorado's offense, and you're seeing 12 personnel on the field, you're thinking this is nice.
Yep.
You'd obviously like, any upgrades at offensive line that are available, you would take, but it's when you start imagining some of the more traditional formations that you're longing for a second tight end, and maybe Savell Smalls becomes that guy if that's actually happening. But if you were able to get someone who has proven the ability to do it at the Power 5 level, you'd like that.
Yeah, 6'4", 242, was a senior last year, so I'm assuming he's a grad. And then this is like the 3rd or 4th time we brought this guy's name up. Ozzie Nicholas, the Princeton linebacker, he's still floating there in the portal. The Buffs have added a few linebackers. Do you think they're done with the 2 that they've added recently? In Jalen Wester and then who am I forgetting? Or is it just Jalen Wester that they added?
I think it's just Jalen Wester.
Let me dig in here. Hold on.
I don't think you're forgetting anyone.
Either way, Ozzie Nicholas played in 10 games for Princeton last year. He had 104 tackles, 6.5 TFLs, 4.5 sacks, 3 passes defensed, and 1 forced fumble.
Sounds not bad.
Could use it. Just making sure. Yeah, I don't think I'm missing a linebacker. So they've only added 1 linebacker. And then the last guy.
Gage Goldberg is.
That's right. That's who I'm thinking
yeah.
of. Yeah. And then the other guy that I wanted to talk about today is Jabbar Muhammad, Washington's best corner from this last season. Entered the portal a little less than a week ago. He's rated as a 4-star transfer right now. Was a senior this last year. Let me see how many years he's played. Or I guess he came from somewhere else. Oh, yeah, he was at Oklahoma State before he went to Washington. But he re-entered the portal, 46 total tackles, 5 TFLs, 2 sacks, 3 INTs, 20 passes defensed.
That's insane.
That's ridiculous.
I don't think Travis Hunter had 20 passes thrown his way all season.
No.
Even close to that, honestly.
So one of the better cornerbacks available in the portal. We feeling good with cornerback depth right now?
I actually do feel pretty good about cornerback depth, but again, you're talking about stars here.
Right.
You can take a star at any position. Anyone who is available, you take a star. And that's just the way you have to approach it, especially when you have scholarships available. Like no one spot is safe when there's people in the portal that are legitimate players and options in terms of scholarships.
CFB ref has it at 16 passes defense. So Washington kind of bumping up their stats there.
That's still an insane amount.
It really is. He had 4 against Oregon State. He had 3 against Texas in the Sugar Bowl. Yeah, great player. But that's about it for the portal. The portal's still working. Lots of guys still entering. We've still got Alabama fallout going on. We've got Washington fallout going on. We'll see what happens at Arizona.
Michigan.
We'll see what happens at Michigan with Harbaugh. He's interviewed twice. This is the same shit he always does, though. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. It is.
He's got an offer. He's got an offer at Michigan sitting on the table.
Yeah.
All he's got to do is sign.
If your significant other is always texting other people, eventually they're going to cheat.
Is it cheating if you actually leave, though? That's just ending the relationship.
That's true. It's true. Maybe interviewing is cheating.
Maybe. All right.
How many times can he get a new contract? Every year?
Well, okay. So after the bad 2020 season, he took a pay cut and stuff because he was kind of on the hot seat. So he's been
working his way back up.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. It's been a saga, bro.
But I mean, hasn't he gotten a new contract each of the last 2 years?
I mean, we don't really know. I'm assuming he's gotten a raise at least.
Yeah.
Maybe some sort of extension.
Right.
1 year.
Usually extension and raise go together.
Yeah. He's got apparently it's a 10-year, $125 million deal.
So 12 and a half. It's on the table? So there's a new contract on the table.
So my guy, my Michigan guy who I always read up on, said that they're working out whether or not Harbaugh he wants to be paid if NCAA sanctions come down and suspend him. Or
he wants immunity.
Yes, basically. That's what's going on.
He's like, look, I'm going to keep cheating because it's working. I need some assurances from you guys that that's not going to hurt my pay.
Pretty much what's going on.
As long as I keep winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's smart on his part.
That's what's going on.
Fair. I would do the same. He's like, you can legally cheat in the NFL. I could just go there.
He's just biding his time till the NCAA formally detaches from football and he can do what he wants.
It's kind of interesting from a money perspective if he's talking $12.5 million because there are NFL owners who could pay him a lot more than that.
Probably. He's been courted by Arthur Blank, who definitely could.
Could write a blank check, if you will.
My God. Shout out to Circle K. Too bad we're not in Studio A. We just got decked out in Circle K stuff.
Circle K snack cart lives in Studio A now. Yep. That is pretty sick.
So you guys will see it very, very soon. But Circle K is your go-to spot on the road for gas, drinks, snacks, all that good stuff. Join their membership program. It's the Inner Circle. Just enter your email and phone number and you're fully enrolled. Your first 5 fill-ups of gas are 25 cents off a gallon. You get 5 Polar Pops for free. The first 5 Polar Pops for free. And every 6th item on several things such as pizza, roller grills, dispensed beverages, donuts, and more. Sign up with the QR code on the screen or visit circlek.com/inner-circle for more information.
And a shout out to
I think it's Backus and Shanker.
Backus and Shanker, the homies at Backus and Shanker. You know the drill. If you need to sue, smash the 222-2222. That is how you are going to reach our friends at Backus and Shanker. If you've been injured and it wasn't your fault, our friends at Backus and Shanker can win for you. And they've won for thousands of Colorado families, and they've won billions of dollars in the process. The best part is you don't have to pay a single penny until they win your case. That's how confident they are that they're going to win your case. They're not going to charge you a cent until you have won your case. It's amazing. So if you've been hurt and it's not your fault, hit up our friends over at Backus and Shanker.
All right, so a little bit of recruiting stuff here. Let's stick with Alabama real quick. 2025 5-star edge Zion Grady decommitted yesterday. He is the top edge in the 2025 class, 6'4", 220, out of Enterprise, Alabama. He committed there in November after visiting a few weeks unofficially before that. And then decommits. He's already visited Auburn, but we'll see. Coach Riz and Coach Phillips and all those guys have been working on this 2025 class. I think we're starting to see a shift. a little bit of a shift. People were so concerned about Colorado's high school recruiting, but with what they've been showing just with offers recently, it seems like they're going to lean more into it this next cycle.
Yeah, and that was probably always the plan. As time goes on, you're going to invest more and more resources into kind of stocking the cupboard in terms of the entire roster. Right now, it's all about trying to get players that can help you win immediately. Once you start winning immediately, you can go and fill in the reserve, the reserve talent pool. It's all a strategy, and it's all something that Coach Prime and Corey Phillips and that whole team have been completely on the same page of this entire time.
Yep.
It was always going to be a smaller class this year, and it was always kind of I don't like the term all in, because that implies that like
You're ignoring the other side.
you're done after it or whatever.
Right.
But it was like, hey, look, we've got one more year of Shedeur, Travis, and Shilo. This is going to be a big one. And in sports, you're kind of in college sports, you're kind of always waiting for that big year.
Yeah.
So when it comes around, you invest heavily in it. What's a little bit disappointing is, like, for Colorado basketball, not to just sidetrack us, this was the big year.
Right.
And they almost had Dalton Knecht, who would have been an absolute game changer. Of course, in the NIL era, his name got some buzz. People started watching his film and said, oh, my God. And then Kansas and Tennessee and all these places started coming with bags that Colorado basketball couldn't support.
Yep.
The point is, though, there's always going to be certain years that you look at and say, oh, that's a year. 2016 for the Buffs. It all came together. You had your best players were your oldest players. They were seniors. They were leaders. And it all comes together. This is one of those years for Colorado.
Yep.
So you dump tons of resources in trying to make this season the best season it possibly can. And I think a lot of people just they see what they want to see, which is like, oh, Coach Prime will never recruit. Well, they're in for one.
Yep.
Because the second that he decides I'm going to start putting resources and putting focus on high school recruit, he's going to start dominating in that, just the way he's dominated the portal the last 2 years.
And just to add to that, we've seen in the portal too, especially this cycle, the amount of guys who have 2 years of eligibility. Like, these aren't Band-Aids coming in here. These are pieces for the team that can grow and just become cornerstones next year and beyond potentially too. So we'll see what happens exactly with Zion Grady. Colorado has not offered yet, but they did offer 2025 5-star offensive tackle Michael Fasusi. I don't have his page pulled up yet, but he is the second overall offensive tackle in this class out of Lewisville, Texas. 6'4", 285, kind of a similar build to Jordan Seaton there. Also does track and field. CU just offered him yesterday. He's got about 35 offers at least right now. But they are literally going after the very best young kids, 2025 kids.
I love it, man. And again, you're always going to start with the quality, right? You want to go for the biggest and best players you can possibly get.
And then we talked about this guy. He came and visited around this time last year. I think he was scheduled to come out for a game, but never really came, if I remember correctly. But DeAndre Robinson requested to be released from his NLI from Texas, and Texas granted that. So he's basically back in the 2024 recruiting cycle.
I wonder what happened there. Is this a Jaden Rashada NIL situation?
That's what it seems like, right?
Yeah.
Everything that happens like this has to be NIL related. But CU was in his top 10. He came out and visited, although it was about a year ago. The interest was there. And he was a name that we heard pretty early on in the 24 cycle. Basically, as soon as Coach Prime got to Boulder, this guy's name, along with a few others, were being thrown out pretty consistently.
All right.
People have said that he's following a coach who left to LSU, so keep an eye out there. But a name that was interested in CU at one point is available again.
Love it. Keep an eye on it for sure.
That's about all I've got on recruiting today. Let's talk about what everyone wants to talk about. But first, Shout out to our
Drama?
friends. There's drama. Again, would you believe it?
I do.
Lone Wolf said his D-line coach went to LSU, so there you go. Shout out Red Hawk Roofing. We are massive fans of Red Hawk Roofing, and they are massive fans of us here at DNVR. These guys do great work. They've got decades of experience. You can hit them up and get a free in-depth photo report for all inspections. Winter is here. It's been a cold one, so if you've been feeling a draft come through at your home or business, hit them up. They will be giving away their company's 2 tickets to the Nuggets-Sixers game on January 27th, and at our watch party 2 days before that on the 25th. They'll be raising money to match support for the Volo Kids Foundation. It's a good cause, good people. Make sure you're out here at the DNVR bar on the 25th to win. But shout out to Red Hawk Roofing. Check them out at redhawkroofing.com and tell them DNVR sent you.
Love it. I've heard those seats are pretty sweet too. Also, shout out to Fubo. Best possible way to watch the Nuggets and Avalanche. Tough one for the Nuggets last night, but also a sick win for the Avalanche. They were down 4-2, came back and won 7-4.
Damn.
Yeah, it was sick. It was electric. They're playing great hockey right now. And a lot of people in Colorado can't watch, which is really sad. But Fubo has fixed that problem. It's a great product. I absolutely love it. I use it every single day.
Mm-hmm.
They've got tons of channels, everything you need. But most importantly for me, we can watch our local teams, and you get Pac-12 Network on there, which we still need for a couple more months here in basketball season. So check out our friends over at Fubo TV. Go to FuboTV.com/DNVR for a great discount.
Oh, wow. Yeah. All right. Shedeur.
Let's see what it is.
It's the Twitter.
Oh, my God.
I know. All right. Shedeur and Shilo are in Paris. And people are mad.
Oh, no. I see.
Yes.
Okay. That's funny. Okay. Go back to what you were just saying.
Shedeur and Shilo are in Paris and people are mad.
Yes. This one is extra funny. It's pretty great that somehow, some way, there's always like a hater's angle to take on this stuff.
Of course.
Of course, it had to overlap with the very first team meeting, and so it just gives all sorts of fodder for all the haters to jump in on this. But I'll repeat what I said on Twitter. No matter how many 45-year-old white dudes in Nebraska think this is just an outrage, there are dozens and hundreds and thousands more young athletes who think this is the coolest thing ever.
Yep.
And they're saying, man, you could have this NIL deal with Joe's Tire Shop.
Right.
That might pay you decent. But, and then there's probably some like collective that's feeding money through some other thing so you can get paid. Or you can get legit deals with legit brands and legit companies and do things that people at Colorado are doing that no one else is doing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple players across the nation who are doing, national brand deals. No one's working with Louis Vuitton. I mean, that is on a whole other level.
Yeah.
Even Travis, he's got Abercrombie, he's got Celsius. These guys are stacking them up. Obviously, Shedeur and Shilo also have Google. I think they might have an Amazon deal too.
Gatorade.
Yeah, Mercedes. Yeah. The types of deals that are being done at Colorado are ones that completely lap the field. And it is so much more valuable to these players to do that. And these are ones that can go through your whole career. You can go and, obviously players do Nike deals when they start here, but when they start in the NFL, just to wear their cleats and stuff like that. But as Nike brings back the Prime cleats, you don't think they're going to want to do a follow-up on with Shedeur? Mm-hmm. And right now, people are all, it's only happening for the Sanders kids. Well, that's, first of all, not true. As I just pointed out with Travis, we also had Charlie Offerdahl in a national commercial
with Alton
McCaskill as well. But those guys are going to be gone after this year.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think the biggest stars on Coach Prime's team are going to continue to get these big deals?
Look at the trajectory Jordan Seaton's on.
Yes, exactly. 100%. So, again, people can be big mad because they missed a team meeting, which is really just like remember syllabus week?
Yes.
In college, where like everyone just kind of shows up to class and you kind of look around, you get to know who the teachers are, stuff like that. That's the main point of that meeting. It's the first time everyone's getting together.
Mm-hmm.
It was not a big deal at all that they were to miss that. And if it were, they wouldn't have been able to. But I think it also says a lot about Coach Prime that he gave them his blessing. Mm-hmm. And I think if it was Jordan Seaton or Travis Hunter or anyone else, he would have given them his blessing for something like that, which is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
We see this in the NFL all the time. Players are getting paid in college football now. You want to be treated like paid like a professional, you're going to be treated like one, basically. And this is what's going on with these. It's the first team meeting, but as you said, it's for the new players to come in. Like, Shedeur is a quarterback, and he's like almost any other NFL quarterback out there. Do you really think he needs to be there for the first team meeting of the year to hear not only what his coach has to say, but what his dad has to say, who I'm sure they probably talked about the meeting and planned it beforehand, before this meeting even started? I don't know. It's just ridiculous outrage.
Yeah. And it's incredible publicity for them. You don't think that Louis Vuitton is also loving the publicity that they got off of this, that they would not have gotten quite as much otherwise, or at least wouldn't have hit this sector of the world. Mm-hmm. My last point on this is, while Shilo almost certainly has a longer career coming in football, he also definitely looked like a natural out there.
Yeah.
Shedeur kind of looked like a quarterback,
right,
who was doing a modeling event. Mm-hmm. Shilo looked like he knew exactly what he was doing.
I mean,
so he's got another career ahead of him.
These kids are who they are. They're famous beyond football, and they're going to do things like this. So if this gets you upset, then you truly don't understand what they are, what they're about, and like their life, really, the trajectory they're on. Like, they're going to be relevant cultural figures, whether in football or not, because of who they are.
Yep.
Last thing we have to talk about today is the transfer portal. As a whole, we're going meta here.
Uh-oh.
Do you have the tweet?
I'll get it, because I enjoy it very much. I've got it for you.
I just want to say, I kind of said this yesterday.
You did, but the way he said it makes me laugh. So Josh Newberg of On3 says, transfer portal needs to be fixed. This situation with Alabama will cause change. Bama is penalized because they made the playoffs and Nick Saban retired afterward. The last team to make a change gets shafted in the portal. There's simply no players left in the portal to recruit. The top available players are the ones hitting the portal from Alabama. If Saban retired on December 1st, this wouldn't be happening. Needs to be fixed. Who will think of Alabama, Jake?
Oh, my gosh.
And, of course, we have to come up with a solution for this very common problem of the greatest coach of all time retiring after taking his team to the playoff.
Yeah, this is unprecedented. When's the last time, even in the transfer portal era, what's probably the biggest coaching move besides this?
Oh, man. Biggest coaching retirement?
Just coaching. I mean, I guess you could say Lincoln Riley to
or
USC.
Like Brian Kelly to
Brian
LSU.
Kelly, I guess. But this is like when it's a retirement, though, it's a totally different thing than guys just playing musical chairs shifting around.
Yeah.
Which is why it's kind of like an isolated incident.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. This is a one-off thing where it started a domino effect rather than teams just, like you said, kind of trading coaches. One actually left the pool. Yeah. So then everyone else is getting elevated behind it, and there's just an empty space being left in each spot. But it is it was just funny to me to see this whole like outrage. And of course, last year Colorado has all these players enter the transfer portal, and no one was like crying for them. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, look how terrible it is at Colorado!" Blah blah blah. It's like, okay, well now Alabama loses a couple top players. The truth is, if you want to really hear it, Josh or Jake or anyone else. Alabama has been able to coast off of Nick Saban.
Yes.
Because of that, they have not had to stock their NIL war chest. Of course, guys are getting NIL deals, but not nearly at the level of players at other schools that don't have the Saban card to play.
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, 30-day transfer portal just opened, and some of the best players in college football are all available. And all of these schools from all around the country are offering them money that Alabama can't back up. They can't match. Mm-hmm. And so you lose your coach as a player. Of course, you liked playing at Alabama. It's a cool place to play. You're not sure about this new guy, though, and you're getting offered a ton of money to go somewhere else. Of course you're going to go. So if you want to fix anything, it really comes back to NIL.
Right. I mean, you kind of nailed there. I guess Saban discount of just being able to play for the greatest coach of all time. There was, I can't remember who it was, but there was a recruit recently who committed to Alabama, basically said, I'm going to play for Nick Saban. He left, and then the guy decommitted or entered the portal, whatever it was. Like, it's pretty much that cut and dry with this situation. You could even compare it to Colorado. Like, guys are going to come to Colorado to come just play for Coach Prime.
Yep.
There's only, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 coaches in the country that are like that recruits will literally maybe not want as much NIL money or the location or something, fan base, whatever it is, and they'll just go play for the coach as opposed to the school.
Totally. 100%. And everything I just said about Alabama will be true of Colorado whenever the time comes. That Coach Prime retires, goes to a different job, whatever he decides to do, my point here is don't get comfortable. We always have to be pushing as a fan base the limits of NIL and trying to dig deeper with our fan base. And to everyone who says this is a broken system, you are 100% right. It is the system we're essentially crowdfunding football teams.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, at least with the NFL, which also has its problems, you just get to thank a billionaire for spending all of his money to put a nice team out there for you, or complain to a billionaire for not spending enough of his money to put your team out there. Right now, we just have a GoFundMe for each college, and it's like, go crazy, kids. Try and raise some money to win some games. Yep. It's insane, but it is where we are, so we all have to chip in.
So where do we go from here? How do we fix this? The calendar is just out of whack to me. I don't think we need 2 portal periods. I don't think we need 2 signing periods. And I think we need to wait till the last game is played to make these decisions. Like, National Signing Day was in February for a reason. Mm-hmm. And then this early signing period comes along in December, and it kind of becomes the new National Signing Day. And the portal's going to be hopping, I'm sure, in the spring, no doubt about it. But kids who, if you're more likely to enter the transfer portal, you're more likely to do it after the season you just played, right? Mm-hmm. Rather than, I'm going to stick it out another 3-4 months and I'll just enter the portal in the spring. Like, these guys are probably thinking about these. They're waiting on the portal to open, basically. So we just need to recalibrate and shuffle the calendar, I think, entirely in college football.
I think you've got the solution. You've had it for weeks.
Thank you.
So good job.
Thank you.
You solved the problem.
I appreciate it.
Alabama will thank you.
NCAA ain't hard to find.
Speaking of NCAA, the video game.
Oh, Lord.
There was counter reporting to your boy from Gator Breakdown.
This is why I mentioned it yesterday. Like, why do we always get
from Gator Breakdown? Yes, that is a good question. But it appears there has not been a date. But then there was kind of like a little breadcrumb in there, which was like the goal is July. That does not make me feel comfortable.
No, I'm losing faith by the day now.
Yep. Meanwhile, Madden's got all these glitches right now. It's not good.
I don't understand how I saw a quote tweet on Twitter. Someone said, y'all need competition so bad. They had like a picture of Jared Goff. He looked like a lumpy potato.
To be fair.
I mean, come on. Jared Goff did not look like that picture. I mean, he literally had like fat rolls on his jersey. What are we doing?
It wasn't like a rib protector?
It was, but I'm going to try and find this photo for you because it looks terrible.
The thing is, like, I love Madden. It's one of those. It's exactly what I was talking about yesterday with brand loyalty.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like 2K games. They feel weird to me because I've played EA games my whole life.
You never played 2K5? The
NFL one?
Yeah.
Is that the one that had the
first person one? Yeah.
That was terrible.
What?
Just terrible.
Bro.
I did like how you had like a house. Remember you could like go back to the crib and like deck out your like man cave in there? That was kind of cool. I tried all of this stuff. I did, but like in the end, I don't know, the gameplay feels better for me. I haven't played the new NBA 2Ks that like obviously everyone loves.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
What is going on there, bro?
It's just a rib protector, bro. I don't know why you're hating.
It looks terrible.
It's hilarious.
Do you ever play Madden Arcade? I know you're not a gamer, so allow me to.
I think I remember hearing about this.
It was a game on the Xbox 360. You could only download it, but it was like 5-on-5 football.
That sounds fun.
And the Eagles were OP because it was Shady, Vic, Jackson, and Macklin.
Oh my God, that's basically my Madden team now.
Yeah,
I have absolutely stacked my team with speed, and somehow it just keeps working every Madden.
Oh, did you see the people were talking about DC? Did you see Ron Rivera is interested in a defensive coordinator role?
Yep.
Is that our guy?
I don't know. I'm just waiting patiently. RK Weiland for liking Madden that much. It's just the only game I play. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, the real reason I love this, I wouldn't have even played video games again. I hadn't played video games in years before COVID. And in COVID,
really?
Yep. Allie's little brother was like, I don't remember what it was. It's like he had two different Xbox, or both of her brothers had an Xbox. One of them didn't want it anymore, so they just needed one. And so they just gave me their extra Xbox, whatever the last series was. And Timmy, who was a commenter on the Broncos pod, had started a Madden league with fans of the Broncos pod.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I was just like, okay, well, I have this Madden now. I have this new console now. I have nothing to do with it, but I'll join the Madden league.
Yeah.
And the league is just what keeps me going. It's the same thing as like a fantasy league or whatever. It's like with all your buddies, and it's fun, so you keep doing it. And so, and I just happen to be the GOAT of that league. And that also keeps me going.
Fair enough. I've been retired from Madden basically since then.
Since COVID?
Pretty much.
Wow.
That's when I decided I had enough and I would no longer be a part of the problem.
Man, you're so strong-willed, Jake.
Thank you. When a new football game comes out and it's not EA and it actually isn't filled with glitches and it's got cool stuff in it, you can thank me.
I have
be the change you want to see in the world.
Such a hard time imagining that's ever going to happen.
Never say never. All right, let's get to questions.
Hit that like button. Let's get to 500.
And subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, too. Mr. Pick 6 says, do you think we will see the QB under center this year? I think, no? Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe
just
in like
none?
goal line, stuff like that. I think your happy medium there will be pistol. I remember Peyton Manning came to Denver. He's working with Gary Kubiak. Gary Kubiak pretty much called his whole career under center.
Mm-hmm.
Peyton was like, I'm not going under center, bud. He was like, all right, we'll meet in the middle. We'll go out of the pistol.
We'll see. I don't know. I mean, I feel like Pat Shurmur is going to kind of go hard-nosed football, under center, single back, two tight ends. They really want to establish a running game this season.
Yep. You can run out of the pistol.
I saw that comment. I do play Rocket League. Who said that? Oz Maldonado, my guy. That's like my favorite game.
It looks fun. I'll give you that.
It's amazing.
I think we talked about this before. Isn't it a spin-off of something that was like a mini game in an old car game back in the day? The first time I saw someone playing it, I had like immediate memories of playing this game. But I'm talking about when I was like 9.
No, there was a game before it called Super Acrobatic Rocket Powered Battle Cars.
No, it was not this, dude. It was like a version of like Demolition Derby. Did you ever play that back in the day? Or
yeah.
Destruction Derby?
I played Twisted Metal.
So like it was like a mini game in one of those where you had to hit the soccer ball into the net.
This game came out in 2008. This was basically the first thing. I mean, it was the soccer with cars type of thing. And then they made Rocket League in 2015.
All right, 2008. 2008, no, I would have been 16. So this is like I was a kid playing this game.
I don't know, man. Anyways, Rocket League's the GOAT.
I wouldn't mind seeing Shedeur go under center for sure. But I don't think if you do see it, it will be, I would say, less than 10% of the time.
Rose is a GC. It's hard to do.
Wow. That's crazy.
I'm not
Is that
that
like
good.
Being a master sommelier?
I don't know. What does that mean?
It means you're like the best at identifying wines.
And sure. Actually, there's one above that. There's Supersonic Legend, SSL.
Oh my God. Wow. I feel like I've seen that referenced before. I had no idea what it meant.
What's up, Eric? You see a lot of players entering the portal from Colorado in the spring.
Okay, there we go. Whackdell, you might have just solved something that's been bothering me for like years. ATV Off-Road Fury, which I absolutely played when I was a kid. Used to have soccer. That's probably what RK is thinking about. That is absolutely it. And Rocket League is a spin-off of that.
Damn. I played ATV Off-Road Fury, but I just drove around doing sick jumps and stuff.
ATV Off-Road Fury was sick.
Yeah, it was.
Damn.
How many players enter in the spring? I don't know. I'd expect a decent handful, though.
Over under 10.5.
More.
I would take the over as well.
Wow, look at these loading times back in the day here. Is this what you were playing?
Yes, dude. Oh, that's crazy. Wow, nostalgia.
That's
bomb.
wild. Angela, looking ahead, what player or players do you want from Michigan? Jim is going to the NFL soon. We'll see.
Jake's going to be the expert on breaking down the Michigan roster for us when that becomes available.
I will. He's coming back, though.
I've got him going to the Chargers.
Why would he do that?
Great weather. A quarterback that people think is good.
If Jim Harbaugh's goal is to go into the NFL and win a Super Bowl, you're going to go coach the fucking Chargers?
Did he play for the Chargers for a hot minute?
I think so.
There you go.
But still.
Or maybe he knows that they're cursed and will never win anything.
He just needs to wait till, you know what he should do? And I tweeted this out. He should wait till Mike McCarthy gets hired and go coach in Dallas. That's what he should do.
You mean fired? If he gets fired, they're going after Belichick.
Belichick's washed.
I think he was a product of Brady the whole time.
I wouldn't go that far, but he's washed. Oz Maldonado, what's the word on the Colorado kid who was at Ohio State and plays tight end?
Oh, yeah. I think his name's Sam Hart. Not to be confused with
Sam Hartman.
Country artist Sam Hunt, who I don't like.
Oh, yeah. He's from Aurora.
There you go.
I can try and pull up his stats. I don't really know his name, though.
What high school?
It says his last school was Cherokee Trail. I don't know if that's a high school.
It is a Colorado high school. Good call on NFL Blitz. Arguably the best game ever.
Man, Madden 04 and 06.
Better than NFL Blitz?
Mm-hmm. Those were the best Madden games made.
I had more fun playing NFL Blitz than any other games. Do you remember NFL
Street?
I'm confused. I'm mixing two things together in my head. When the original Xbox came out, there was a different NFL game that was a part of it. and I want to call it NFL Frenzy, but I'm confusing it with Fusion Frenzy, which was another game that came with the original Xbox.
Yes.
Oh man, what was it? It had Peyton Manning on the cover.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll
already
find
looking it up. NFL Fever.
NFL Fever. That's close to NFL Frenzy.
Not bad.
NFL Fever. I had fun playing that one too. There's also a snowboarding game that came in like the 3-pack of games.
SSX Tricky?
No, it wasn't SSX. It was more realistic snowboarding game.
SSX was a dope game.
Yep. Sick.
You plan on conducting any more school bands? It was pretty awesome.
100%. You notice? Did you see how? I know you did because you used one of the videos as a meme, making fun of Arizona. How they just have someone filming Portnoy the whole time in the stands, or like when Big Cat goes, they just. I need my. I want someone filming me in the stands next year. Get all my reactions.
There you go.
Especially when we go to all the road games.
We're gonna need well, I'm not gonna go into our plans. I almost spoiled things.
I know.
I was close there. If C was to get Caleb Downs, who would you sit?
I don't know. We'll cross that bridge if we come to it.
Yeah. I feel like this is a setup question for us.
It is. We need that drop from Shedeur when he was asked, like, what's the difference between... Like, see, I just know you're setting me up right now, so I'm not going to answer that.
Appreciate the question, though, Larry. We'll answer this one. When does construction start on the new screen? It started yesterday.
Has begun.
Yep. I'm headed up there tomorrow for the game, so maybe you'll get it'll be dark, so never mind.
I feel like when I pull up to Folsom for the first time with the new screen, it's going to be like when you see someone and they got veneers.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
That looks different.
Yep. Angelo wants to know our thoughts on who Prime is waiting on for DC. I don't know.
We'll see. I'm honestly curious to hear what Unc is willing to share with us tomorrow.
Yep.
So we'll see. We'll see if he has any update or anything. And I'm not saying that he does.
Mm-hmm.
But this thing has been totally, very under wraps. As under wraps that I can remember any sort of coaching search, for any position.
Mm-hmm.
Usually there's a couple names that leak out. They've interviewed this guy. They've interviewed that. It is nothing.
Yeah.
NHL hits.
NHL hits. I'm trying to find who had the comment King Mars, the one with the Lightning player on it.
I don't know. There was NHL 08, which was really, really good. The soundtrack on that holds up to this day.
NHL 2004 literally shaped my musical tastes.
What was on there?
Deftones.
Okay. One I'm thinking of had like Queens of the Stone Age. I don't know. There's also NBA Live 2004, I think, also had an unreal soundtrack.
Before 2K took over?
Yep.
Dude, EA soundtracks back in that era, like early, mid-2000s, they're so much better than now.
Oh, yeah. Now they I feel like they spend their whole budget on getting like one Jack Harlow song into Madden, and then the rest is just like random.
No, so this game had Alien Ant Farm, Bowling for Soup, Brand New, Deftones, Avenged Sevenfold, like all this stuff.
I used to play all these, dude. Every year for Christmas, I would ask for like all of them, and maybe get like a half of them, and then like my birthday, I would ask for whatever one I didn't get, the NHL game or whatever. Like that's all I would play is the EA version of every single pro sports game, and whatever game was whatever sport was in season, that's what I was playing at that time.
Chat called me gothic.
I'm not defending you.
I haven't been called that in like 15 years. Big Teasy. What do you think is the imaginary deadline to hire DC? At some point, we need to have a defensive scheme.
Practices.
Yeah.
So the spring practice is when I would say that's the absolute deadline.
For what it's worth, a player told us that it's not as big of a deal as many people are making it out to be.
When it comes to
hiring a DC.
Yeah.
So
obviously, you have to install a scheme and things like that. But like we said, that's not happening for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Then super chat from Ronell. Big fan here in Chicago. The portal has to be before the next semester begins, and with the expanded playoffs, the season ends third week of January. Yeah, that's the tough thing, is that we like bleed over into the next semester. So like enrollments kind of what's, I guess, holding a lot of this up.
Someone said you're Marilyn Manson. That's a bit extreme.
Goodness.
Yeah, I mean, well, someone should be paid to figure out this college football calendar. It shouldn't be that hard.
It really shouldn't. We need a governing body. We need a commissioner.
Yep.
We need someone who's just looking
Saban.
out for the game of football.
Commissioner of college football.
Yes.
There you go. You've got support in the chat.
Eric, let's go. Kamada, what sport video games do you like to play at the studio? I don't play video games at the studio.
When we first opened the DNVR bar, we created like a little gaming area in the bar. That would be like a cool thing that people would want to use. So we put both of the, we put the Xbox, put the PS4 in there. It was before the newer generations. And like the only people who ever used it was us. So we took it out.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a Xbox in the office that I don't even think Nick uses it.
But here somewhere?
Yeah, it's in his office.
Is it his?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was like, I thought he just got the one that we had downstairs.
I'm pretty sure it's his. I mean, I don't know. He might have just found it and threw it in his office. That it?
Two Favorite Uncle says, I'm no genius, but I'd like to think that most defensive schemes are similar. Verbiage is just different. It just depends. I mean, there can be a lot different, but like we said, there's not much that you could do right now.
Like a defensive coordinator can do right now?
I mean, you can give everyone a playbook and have them start looking at it.
Right.
But there's only, and to be fair, in college, I think the more simple you keep it, the better. It's one of the things that when I was reading up on Lovie Smith and his time at Illinois, when he started really having success, he said, like, I decided to simplify things. And it took him a little bit going from the NFL to college to realize, like, he needed to pare it down a little bit.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the best college defenses are ones that are really good at a few things.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it a lot last year. Identity is a big one. But, I mean, you do have, like, base coverages and stuff like that, I guess, that are dependent defense to defense. But it's, I mean, cover 2 is cover 2. Man coverage is man coverage at the end of the day.
Osmaldonado says, how about a tournament at the DNVR bar when the new NCAA game drops? That would be so sick. We've actually talked about that too. With all the different TVs, you could have like different matchups going on all at the same time. That would be awesome.
That'd be amazing. I would be down.
All right.
That's it. All right. We'll be live with Unc tomorrow. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, hit the like button on your way out. Let's go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.